Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's video, and I'm just going to kind of talk about something that has been on a lot of our minds recently, and I think is going to be in the forefront of a lot of conversations, and that is going to be FAZE are eliminated from PGL Cluj-Napoca 2026. They go out 1-3 in the Swiss stage, and I mean, this is just honestly kind of disastrous. They go out with the teams of Fate and Heroic. It's kind of ridiculous, to be completely honest. It's kind of ridiculous. You look at this team and you see three major winners. Something has to happen with this team. I don't know if it's Carrion. I don't know if it's Brokey. I don't know if it's Jacob. Everybody on this team, as I'm going to get to in a second, is just so inconsistent. Nobody knows how to just have a good tournament or have a good stage, anything like that. Nobody is showing up when they need to. Nobody is showing up together when they need to. And it's honestly kind of ridiculous. Something needs to happen fast. And I'm just going to kind of gloss through their 4 games because they've only played 4 games. So it's probably going to be a short video. But I'm just going to gloss through their 4 games and just kind of look at the stats, see what's happening. I'm not going to go too in depth, as I said. I don't mean to be a stat Stanley, but it's going to have to do for now. It's going to be a quick video. But if we go look at their first game against Heroic, it was a 2-0 overpass Ancient, 13-5 on overpass, 13-9 on Ancient. Pretty easy. Overall, Frozen top of the leaderboard with Jacob next, Twist next, Brokey, and then Carrion on a 1.03. You never really expect too much from him, but if he has a good game, usually means you're going to win, right? Overpass kind of tells the same story. Jacob doing better on the Ancient, and then Frozen carrying it on the Overpass, and then Jacob with the lowest stat for FaZe on Overpass, Kerrigan with a 0.98. Again, you never really expect an insane amount from an IGL, so you're going to get what you're going to get. If he has a good game, that's awesome. Hopefully everyone else is shooting as well, but you know what you're going to get. Then we go to the Falcons game. They lose 2-1. Falcons beat FaZe 2-1. Anubis 13-9 for Falcons. Dust 13-11 for FaZe. And then Ancient 13-4 for Falcons. And if we just go through the maps, I mean, nobody really had a great series. Twist being the only one with a above 1.0 rating. If we go to the Anubis, Kerrigan with a 1.13 leading the FaZe Clan team, which is kind of insane. And then Brokey with a 0.57 on Anubis. And I think with your Opper and then Twist as well, 0.98, someone who you're going to rely on to have those swing rounds, to really have some of the most impact on the rounds alongside Brokey as well. And again, they're facing someone like Falcons, but I feel like in quote-unquote new map, it's not new. Anubis isn't new, but there's a couple of different varieties and stuff like that. The window and the box, I don't know if they're too big. I haven't personally played it because no one wants to play Anubis on matchmaking, but it is what it is. You go to the Dust 2, and this is where FaZe win 13-11, so it is a close map. Frozen then being the bottom of the leaderboard, 0.89, and then Twist having a resurgence going to the top of the leaderboard with a 1.44 rating, 22 and 13 KD. And again, swing rounds. It's all about the swing rounds. Twist is your guy for that. And then, I mean, Brokey having a very mild map as well. I just don't think that's just not what Brokey is. I feel Brokey really should be having more impact, especially in a map like Dust 2. There's just some rounds and some matches where he's just nowhere to be found, and that just, if your Opper's off, it's going to be a bad game. You just expect more out of Brokey, or we used to, but he's just been so inconsistent. This whole team's just been so inconsistent. It's really frustrating to see because this is a team that we all love. The FaZe Magic with the major, going out of the major into the 2026 season, there was a lot of us who really thought that, you know, this FaZe team had a resurgence. They made it to the grand finals of a major. We just go into 2026 and they do nothing. It's really unfortunate, and it's something has to happen, but I digress. Let's go to the Ancient And I mean, it was 13-4. You don't expect anyone to have a good map. It doesn't matter that Brokey's on the top. He had a 0.97, and then Jacob with a 0.49. It's just unfortunate. But again, you're facing Falcons who, despite everything and despite all the trash that they get, they are a top tier team. I think they're top 3 on VRS right now, I believe, or on the global rankings. And you just don't really expect much out of a lot of teams going up against Falcons unless you're MIBR. Or unless you just get them in 5v3s and they just lose those. We go on to the Paravision match. Mirage, FaZe win first map 13-2, absolute blowout. And then continue to lose 2 maps in a row. Ancient 13-11 for Paravision. Inferno 13-9 for Paravision as well. The overall standings, Twist and Frozen led pretty marginally for the FaZe team. And then again, Brokey just not having a good map. And this could be a really good testament to James just being able to eliminate ops almost every single time. But when you have such a free flow and when you have an IGL like Kerrigan, you have to put faith as a team to be able to rely on his calling. And that's just one thing that really doesn't seem to be clicking with them anymore is the trust factor. When the trust factor leaves and everyone just kind of like, oh, should I listen to him? Should I do this play? Is this play going to work? That's when everything falls. And I think that's really where the FaZe team is at right now. I really want to hear what the comms are like with Twists and Kerrigan, because I know Twist is that second voice on the team and he's kind of like the mid-round, I believe more T side, I believe, just helping out calling. And I wonder if that's creating any conflict. But I mean, these three have teamed for a long time. Kerrigan, Brokey, and Twists. I don't think that I wouldn't think that has a lot to do with it, especially when you have someone very quiet like Jacob and someone who's just going to do their role, do what they need to do like Frozen. And then you have the 3 vets of the team. It's like, I don't understand how this can happen. But again, it's a lot of it is really a trust factor thing. And I think a lot of it is just out the window. We go to the Mirage. Jacob having an absolute amazing Mirage. But again, I mean, it was 13-2. Everyone's going to have a really good map here. Even Kerrigan going 13-9 with a 1.08 rating. We go to the Ancient, and this is kind of where it all falls apart. I mean, Twist and Frozen were kind of trying to, especially Twists, was trying to do everything he could to will them to this victory. 1.66 rating, 26 to 16 KD. Again, Brokey just being nothing on the map, just being eliminated, not having anything to do with it. And then obviously Jacob as well, but we know Jacob has been struggling, and it just goes to the testament of nobody is consistent. Jacob can have an insane match or an insane map where he just is holding down, he's being the anchor that we know he can be. Brokey can just have pop off maps, but again, it's just pop off maps. It's not something that you can carry into the next series or into the next day or into the playoffs, because they might not make many playoffs this year, which is very unfortunate. But that's just the truth. That's just the reality we're living in right now. FaZe might not make any major playoffs, or at least might not make a lot. It's just not who they are. That's not in their DNA. And that's one thing that Kerrigan talks about. If you watched the latest FaZe video about what happened with the CS or FaZe CS, there's kind of the loss of the DNA of the FaZe DNA, and I think you can see it. Again, you can really see it in the matches. There's a low sense of trust in the team. It feels like no one's really helping each other out. They're kind of just playing for the hero play, trying to get the kills and get the rounds and win the rounds and just will the team to victory. And it's like, you can't do that. At the level that they're playing, you can't do that. And especially against a team like Paravision, who you know are going to meticulously just dissect you and destroy you in the most horrendous, awful ways. You can't just rely on feel and trust, or a lack of trust, I should say, and just trying to will your team to victory. You can't do that. We go to the Inferno. Kerrigan. I mean, come on, man. Twists. What's the 13-9? And Twist has a 0.71. And I mean, I guess you can say Brokey's being pretty consistent with having not good games, but like Kerrigan being at the top right now in this Inferno and having Twists and Brokey just down here is just, it's honestly very concerning, and it has been for a while, and it is honestly just abysmal. There's no excuse anymore. Something needs to happen, and fast. I don't know what it would be. I really don't. Let's first go to the Astralis game, which this one, you look at FaZe versus Heroic, right? Like, okay, FaZe should beat Heroic every time, and they do. They usually do. And it's usually a fun match because they're all, a lot of them are loud, you know, on both teams, and it's really fun. Falcons versus FaZe, you get a map off Falcons. That's awesome. Falcons, you don't really expect them to lose against, especially this FaZe, right? Paravision, I'm not one way or the other about FaZe losing to Paravision. I am very high on Jame. I'm very high on Zve, even with his little stint in Spirit where he didn't do good, but he wasn't in the right place. Let's all be honest here. I'm not mad that this current FaZe that we're witnessing is losing to Paravision. It's just the way things go, especially with free loose calling like FaZe. Paravision is just going to be like, okay, let's just wait them out. Like let's just, we know what they're going to do. Let's just wait them out and again dissect them and just slowly diminish their morality. And that's just what they do. That's what they do. But then we go to Astralis, and oh my goodness, you lose 2-0 to Astralis, and like 13-5 on Ancient, 13-9 on Mirage. Like, how? I don't understand how you lose to Astralis this bad. If it was some close matches, I wouldn't be, well, I don't know, I would still be pretty mad. But I don't understand how this FaZe can lose to this Astralis. And like, look at this consistency. Frozen with a 0.59. There is no consistency. There is none. You're getting destroyed by Ryu or Ryu, however you say it. I'm gonna say Ryu. You're getting destroyed by Ryu. Like, I don't understand what is going on in this camp, and I don't think they do either. I don't think anybody does. We go to this Ancient, I mean, nothing changes. Literally nothing changes for this FaZe team. Twist at the top, Brokey back at the top, quote unquote top. It wasn't really anything. And then you have Frozen at the bottom, and then the same thing. It's like, where do these guys go? Where does everybody go? How is it so flip-floppy to where you couldn't cognitively and like intelligently bet money on who was going to be either the second to the bottom or the second to the top? You can't intelligently make a decision about how this team is going to perform and who's going to perform the best and the worst. You can't. When I look at this team, at this point, I just see people who are trying to hang on to their careers. I am very high on Twist, and I really do think Jacob can be a good player. I do. I think he's young, and I think he got put in a very unfortunate situation where probably Twist thought he was going to come back and play with Rain and not Jacob. And, you know, they're all adults. They can get over it. They can be like, okay, that's just the way of the land. No, that's just the lay of the land. It is what it is. It's business. It's a professional league. Obviously, Rain wants to do his own thing, so it's understandable, right? There's just no consistency, especially for someone like Frozen, Frozen is a very good player, but I don't think this team's for him, man. Same thing for Jacob, and same thing for all of these guys. I don't think these five should be playing together. I don't. I think Jacob needs to go to maybe a smaller org with less pressure and, you know, maybe some more tournaments that don't really mean as much, so he can get his experience, so he can get his confidence back. I think Twists needs to decide if he wants to IGL or rifle. And we saw what happened on the Liquid stint, right? When he IGL'd, it was not that good. It was not good. I think Kerrigan really needs to decide if he wants to keep IGLing, if he wants to coach, or if he wants to just take a step back for a little bit, because I don't think at this point Kerrigan playing will further his career in a positive way anymore. I don't think it will. I don't think that's going to happen. Very big, very grown up decisions, very important decisions need to be made for all 5 of these players. Brokey needs to decide if he, dude, Brokey has been really good rifling. Like, he has been very good rifling. I would not be mad if Brokey went to rifle. I think that would be really good for him if he went, on a smaller team, maybe picked up the rifle and see how it went. I don't think that would be a bad decision for him. And then I think Frozen just needs to be on a better team, on a team that fits him more, to be honest. I don't think there's anything wrong with Frozen. He's been doing good. Obviously, it's not consistent, but when you're not on a consistent team with players who don't know when they want to show up, it doesn't help anybody. There just needs to be a lot of decisions to be made for all 5 of these players soon. I'm not sure if this team is going to last until the first major of the major of the season, basically. I don't know if this team is going to last. I'm not saying I hope not, but I don't think it should. I really don't think this team should last for the major. I think there needs to be changes made. Obviously, it's not going to be a full dump because of VRS. There can really be some appealing players that want to play for the FaZe org. Because imagine you get 2 players out, right? You go up to some players, maybe some newer players, maybe some players that are potentially not on their way out, but maybe on a team that is diminishing their career a little more. You talk to them, either to the newer player, to the younger player, or to the not vet, but seasoned. He's seasoned, he's tenured. And you basically say, hey, we're wanting to redo FaZe because obviously it's not working out, and we want you and one other person on the forefront of this. I'm not gonna call it rebuild, but restructure, maybe reprogramming. I think a lot of players would kill for this opportunity. Imagine being the FaZe savior. Imagine. That would be something that a lot of people would want to go for if maybe their career isn't going the way that they want it to go. I think that would be a really good option for them. And I don't think, at this point, I don't think anything is out of the cards. I don't think anything should be overlooked in options to make this team better. I think something needs to happen. Maybe not quick, maybe not, before the next tournament. I don't think I want this team to do what Na'Vi did with the last major, of basically saying the major is our final exam. I don't think that this team deserves that. I'm going to be honest. I don't think this team deserves that chance, and something needs to happen fast. Whether it's 1 player, whether it's 2 players, I think it should be 2 players. Honestly, I really do think it should be 2 players. Whether that's Kerrigan and Jacob, whether that's Brokey or Jacob and Jacob, whether that's Brokey and Kerrigan, I don't know, but I really think you keep Twist and Frozen on this team. Work around whatever you can work around. If Twist does want to pick up the IGL role, but I don't know. That's just a game theory, I suppose, but something needs to happen. Thank you guys for watching this video. Just a little quick rant about FaZe. I've been really annoyed and just really frustrated with how this team has been playing. I know it's the start of the year and all that, but I don't see a future with this team doing anything of great value of what the FaZe CS team is known for. I just don't think anything is really going to happen. I hope they prove me wrong. That would be awesome, but I don't think they will. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Helps out a lot. I'm really trying to grow the channel and have a great 2026 for me. And if you enjoyed it, make sure to let me know, and in whatever way you'd like. And I hope you guys have a great day. See ya.